even imagine. Super scary. In the field that I got into, I'm not very experienced in. There's a lot of science background knowledge required, but I do not have that. Even though, I'm in the marketing sales department, so to some extent it doesn't matter, but also obviously it would be a lot better, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot better if I have that, but I do not. But it's really fun. I love doing marketing sales, so it's been super good so far. But on the first day of me started working full time, so that's 4 weeks ago, my boss was out of the office, and then I was going through my email and I was onboarding and stuff like that. And then on the first day, remember it was the first day, absolute first day, I saw an email for a ticket for this conference in Silicon Valley. And I was like, wait, what? And then I was asking my coworker about it. And then he was like, oh, I guess you're going. Which is so funny because at that point, I haven't even met my boss yet. I don't know what's gonna happen. And he didn't tell me anything about it, obviously. So then it was just I went in, I checked my email, and then I, at that point, guessed that I am going to San Francisco or Silicon Valley for a work-related conference. But it was super confusing, didn't know what's up. But then after that, second week, I think, around, my boss came back, and then he confirmed with me that I'm actually going. And then I was just so excited because I'm based in Canada, so A, it's an international work trip. B, even for people that I hear that have traveled for work before, I don't think I've heard of anyone traveling for their first job 4 weeks after they started working, ever, period. Fresh out of uni, 4 weeks, never. I've never heard of that. So I was super excited. I love traveling, I love flying. Went to I came and count a lot of countries last year, so always have had a passion. And it was actually my second time, this time to California. It's my second time ever to California, so it was very exciting that I got to go. And I went this week. I only came back yesterday, so I really want to break down for you how this whole thing went. I went for a total of 4 days, so I had it on Tuesday, and it was actually quite a comfortable flight. We flew at 11:30, but Vancouver is snowing, and if you know, snowing and Vancouver is not the best combo. Everything, literally everything, shuts down when there's snow, and it snowed over last weekend, so I was kind of concerned and worried about how we're gonna fly out, and I thought we might not even be able to fly out, but thankfully everything was okay. And usually, so I do not like waiting in the airport, and honestly, I am one of those people that would go to the airport an hour earlier than my flight, instead of because I know a lot of people are quite on it, and they would go 2-3 hours before. One of my friends, whenever I tell her about how early I go to the airport, she always gets stressed out, even just by hearing about my experience. But that's me. I respect doing myself a favor. So I always try to do that. But then this time when I went to the airport, I was like, okay, no, first work trip. I'm traveling with my boss and one coworker, so like on the flight it's just the three of us. I was like, I cannot be late. Like that would make such a bad impression. I'm still on my probation. And I don't want to like, yeah, I just don't want to make a bad impression. So I was like, okay, no, I need to be early. And it's really been a very long time. I think I was on like at least 20 flights last year, maybe more than that, but it's been a very long time since I've like got to the airport 2 hours plus before the flight. And on Tuesday I went like 2 hours and like 10 minutes maybe before the flight to the airport. And I've already got my boarding pass. I don't have any check-in, or I didn't have any check-in luggage, so I just went straight in. Like I just zoomed through everything. And I was like at the gate by like an hour and 45 minutes. And I was like, wow, good job. Like I did well. But also I was so early that my boss hadn't even showed up. But it was good. And then I just grabbed breakfast at the airport, had a really good bagel sandwich, and then sat there, and then waited until my flight, and then got on the flight, and then my boss and my coworker, like they had all the materials that we needed for the conference, and then they checked those in. So I literally just brought myself and my one like little carry-on luggage, and then got the flight. It was really smooth, and then went to San Francisco. I was really looking forward to a bit of sun and warmth, to escape Vancouver. But guess what? California was rain, and like, which is good for their forest fire. And I'm glad that they can have that, but it was raining, and I was actually like quite sad. The first day we got there, it was so windy, like so windy. It's like literally I was being blown away kind of windy, like literally being blown away kind of windy. So that wasn't too fun. But first day we got there, we set everything up, put up the banners, like put up the backdrop, put up the everything. actually blown, 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 blown away. And then, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so giving us all these things, and I was so like blown away. It was like such a surreal moment. But then, like, I only got home at like 10 p.m., which was like okay. And then like the next morning, or like, and then the conference was on for 3 days, and then for all 3 days, we had to be there at like 8:30. So it's like literally I work. Well, I mean, even though at night it's like team dinners, like I still consider it work because it's like you're still with the same people, and it's like you still have to put up a professional like business face and look for it. So like I do still consider it working, and it's kind of sad because they don't give you any like compensation or like days back for it. And so it's just like 4 really long days of working. But they do pay for all the food, and we did get to go to quite a few like sushi restaurants, so that was good. I think it was worth it. And I was telling my friends how like at least that's what they trick you into thinking that it's worth it, because you like have been having so much good food, and like you should give back to the company or whatever, or like just extra perks, you know. And so first day was really good. It was like kind of chill. Second day didn't really sleep well. New bed, new environment, a lot of stimulation, so didn't really sleep well. But then second day, went to the conference at 8 in the morning, or 8:30, sorry, and then the conference starts at like 9, and then we have our booth, and it's basically like the main goal is for us to interact with the attendees and kind of just get our brand name out there, because I work for a startup, and yeah, they're like fairly early stage. So that was what I did for those 3 days in general. But compared to the conferences that I've been to in the past, this one is a bit harder, I would say, because there actually weren't a lot of attendees, and so it made it really hard in a way that like time passed by really slowly. Like there's not much that you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis. Not a lot of people that you're like interacting, so that made it quite hard, I would say. But I did have quite a few super interesting conversations, and we did go for a lot more good food. We did also go for pizza, which was like delicious, and then we went for Japanese food, and then also Greek food, and per my request we also had American chicken. Like that's, guys, don't scream at me, but that is literally my guilty pleasure. I love American chicken. Like American fried chicken. Yeah. And then, so that was kind of it for like the next 3 days. 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. I would say a highlight is definitely meeting Jensen Huang. I don't know why. Again, my field, it's like biotech, so it's nothing at all related to, I mean, I guess AI is being implemented, like a lot of it is growing in the field, which is super, so good. But at the same time, like Jensen Huang, like NVIDIA with our field is like not too relevant. And the conference honestly is pretty small, I would say. So I don't know why. But they were able to get Jensen Huang on, like, and Jensen Huang was there in flesh. I personally am a big fan of tech, So that was kind of sad. Um, but yeah, I came back from my first work trip. Definitely felt imposter syndrome during the conference because a lot of the attendees or a lot of the people that I talked to are like quite successful in their field. And it's just again like me, first job out of uni, fourth week of working full time, was able to be there. Like, surreal. How? I don't know. But, but, it's been a really good experience. And I'm so grateful. So